You. Excuse me, Mr. Carlson.
Yeah, O'Brien.
While you were out, Mrs. Fletcher called. She'd like you to call her at her niece's. She said it was really important.
Thanks.
Hello?
Mrs. Fletcher,
Yes.
it's Philip Carlson.
Oh, Mr. Carlson, thank you so much for getting back to me. I suppose you heard about poor Mr. Gardner.
Oh, yeah, tragic.
Well, apparently he had some files that he had microfilmed.
Microfilmed?
Yes, and I have reason to believe they are hidden in the Tunnel of Horrors. Of course, my niece's husband thinks I'm bonkers.
Does he really?
Mr. Carlson, believe me, I am not addled. I know right where that microfilm is, and so do you, if you think about it. An attraction that isn't quite working right.
Oh, yes, I remember.
Could we meet with the blueprints in, say, 40 minutes? It will take that long to get across town.
Yes, sure. 40 minutes. I'll see you then.
Don't be afraid, my friends. Nothing frightening awaits you. Oh, perhaps a moment or two of panic, but we did warn you. Seat belts pulled tight. That's good. And now just sit.
How wonderful, Mr. Carlson. You found our prize.
Mrs. Fletcher, you surprised me. How'd you get over here so quickly? I just spoke to you from the other side of town.
Oh, yes, I had the call automatically forwarded to a phone just a block from here. But I don't have to tell you about call forwarding, do I?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't you? That's how you killed Horatio Baldwin. That and a little misdirection. Why'd you do it, Mr. Carlson? Did he renege on a promise to make you a vice president?
You're crazy.
Am I? Whoever planted those blackmail files on Arnold Megram would have first replaced his own file with something less incriminating. That's why you killed Gardner. Because he knew what Horatio Baldwin really had on you. That's why you have to destroy that microfilm.
You're clever, Mrs. Fletcher. Clever.
Guns, that's all you people know.
Baldwin, Gardner. What's one more killing?
You can't expect to get away with murder.
But I already have.
Freeze right there, Carlson. Drop the gun. Kick it to me.
Thank you, Mr. Highlander. The illusion was perfect.
Good thing it was.
You got lucky, Mrs. Fletcher. I didn't know about the microfilm.
Microfilm? Oh, you mean this? Oh, no, this is just a roll of negative from my trip last year to Spain.
The key to the mystery, a telephone that wouldn't ring. The fact is that Horatio Baldwin was not alone in this room when O'Brien and the other security guard heard the shot. Carlson was here, in the room with him.
Well, that can't be.
No. Let me reconstruct what we believe, or rather, Mrs. Fletcher believes happened. Jess, are you sure you don't want to explain this?
Oh, don't be silly. You're the policeman.
Well, jump in if I get this wrong. After Laurie and Horatio fought, and she left, Carlson showed up. Horatio led him into the office. Now, they quarreled. Carlson had been promised a promotion, but Horatio changed his mind. They struggled, and Horatio either fell or was struck on the head, killing him instantly. Carlson panicked. He was the only one working late that night. He knew he'd be the obvious, if not the only suspect, so he devised a plan. He hurried back to his own office where he got the pistol he kept hidden away. Then he programmed the telephone so that if a call came in, it would automatically be forwarded to Horatio's telephone. Oh, and keep in mind what he was wearing that day. Dark slacks and a dark sweater over his shirt. He returned to Laurie's telephone and disconnected the light bulb under the button. Then he moved into the office and bolted the door. Next, he disconnected the bell on Horatio's telephone so that if a call came in, someone standing outside the door couldn't hear it ring. And finally, he propped Horatio up at the desk, placed the gun in his hand, the barrel to his head, and squeezed the trigger. The sound of the shot alerted O'Brien, who rushed to the office, where he was met by the other security guard. Now, unable to get inside, they did just what Carlson expected them to do. They phoned him for instructions. They thought they were reaching Carlson in his own office, but actually, he was taking the forwarded call here in Horatio's office.
Yeah?
Well, we heard a shot in Mr. Baldwin's office, and we can't get in. It's bolted from the inside.
Well, break in the door. Use the fire axe if you have to. You do it now. I'm on my way. Okay?
Then he hung up. He moved to the shadows next to the bolted door and pulled the black turtleneck sweater up over his head. In the darkness, totally dressed in black, he was virtually invisible. The guards broke in, but of course they were focusing on Horatio slumped at his desk.
Oh, my God.
Classic misdirection. They never saw Carlson exit the room while their attention was diverted. In the corridor, he quickly got rid of the sweater, turned, and rushed back toward the office, calling out as he did so.
O'Brien.
The guards turned as Carlson entered, and the illusion worked perfectly. To any reasonable person, there'd been no murder. It had been a suicide.
You know, it might have worked, except for your medical examiner.
Yeah, it was nearly perfect. Except in this case, nearly wasn't nearly good enough.
I still wish you'd have let me bring Carol and the kids.
Just to wave goodbye? Oh, dear, no, I hate public goodbyes.
Mrs. Fletcher, I really don't know how I could ever thank you.
Well, first, by finally calling me Jessica, and secondly, by starting that book you want to write. Now, this afternoon is as good a time as any.
Oh, wouldn't I love to, but I'm afraid I have to deal with reality now, finding a job, paying the rent.
Incidentals. Erica Baldwin gave me a little check as a token of her appreciation. Don't ask me why, but considering how shabbily her husband treated you, I think it's right and proper that you should have it.
Oh, no, I couldn't.
Oh, but I want you to. I've already endorsed it over to you. There's my plane. Goodbye, Laurie. Send me a signed first edition.
Absolutely, and thank you.
And you, Bert. Give the kids another hug and a kiss for me.
I will.
See you next year.
Okay.
Bye.